Hi, I'm Stu from Cyclist, and this is the all-new Specialized Roubaix. Really special opportunity to get this bike ahead of the launch and spend some time road testing, talking to the product managers and really understanding what's new. Well, what is new? Well, all of it, pretty much. It's a complete rebirth of the Roubaix platform for Specialized. The outgoing model had kind of firmly planted itself in that endurance sector of the market, and with this latest model, Specialized is really trying to pull that back into the performance sector. And for that, it's used a lot of pro rider input, the Quick Step and Bora World Tour teams that it sponsors, and riders like ZNX Stu-Bar, the classic Specialist, would have had a lot of input in the development of this design. But of course, Specialized has its own Venge aero road bike, the Tarmac, that kind of iconic race bike, and it's pulled in elements of the learning from all of that, and indeed the original Roubaix with the Future Shock to create this new model. And aerodynamically, actually, it claims this new Roubaix is as fast as the Tarmac SL6, and that equates to about 14 seconds faster than the outgoing Roubaix over 40 kilometers. Weight-wise, claim weight for the frame is around 880 grams, but there's also the sort of combined weight of the seat, post, frame, stem, Future Shock fork as a module, which Specialized also says is significantly lighter than the old model. So the compression adjustment is literally a half dial turn on top of the stem cap. Simple as that, really. Goes from fully open, which is pretty soft, a bit more like the original version, if I'm honest. It feels quite a lot like the first generation, but then fully wound on. It's not a complete lockout, that was never the intention of the engineers, but it is pretty much a lockout. But if you hit it hard enough, you'll still overcome the damper and feel the comfort that it provides. What's really noticeable with the damping fully set round, although it's not a lockout, even if I get on the drops and really sprint, that front end still feels really solid, really stiff. I think that the Generation 1 Future Shock really had a sense of being quite pogo-y without any damping at all. And it was a criticism that many people laid at that first version. So yeah, this second generation is a big improvement in my mind. Aerodynamic tube shapes don't lend themselves well to being compliant. So Specialized has created the pave seat post with a special carbon layup and also clamped it 65mm down inside the seat tube. And then the seat post kind of sits in space here in this top section, basically so that it can flex over a greater distance to provide the comfort and compliance that they set out to achieve at the back. You know, if I bounce on that seat and weight the post, I can really feel the compliance that's offering. The movement is kind of down and back at the same time, something that Specialized has kind of worked on as the optimum movement to benefit from the compliance. And that's really what this bike is, I guess, about, is just balancing that front end with the rear end so that it doesn't feel disjointed. Well, one thing that Specialized is doing differently with the new Roubaix is that there won't actually be a specific women's version. Now that comes from Specialized's connection with Retool Fit and the thousands and thousands of bike fits that they've done over the years and all the research, which suggests actually, when it comes down to it, the way that men and women fit on a bicycle are not actually that different at all. So there are some physiological differences in how the pelvic tilts, but that's really more to do with using a specific saddle. So the actual frame geometry isn't so different from male to female. What Specialized are doing is offering a broad range of sizes, 44 to 64 centimeters, and there are also what they're calling the Team Geo, which is going to be the 54, 56 and 58 sizes. Will also be available in a specific geometry that is more sort of matched to the Tarmac, with the stack and reach the same as the Tarmac. So that's just basically to satisfy those that really want the most racy option. So overall, I think the direction that Specialized has taken with this new Roubaix platform is a huge step forward. It really feels to me that the good aspects that you want from a road bike, in this case they pulled in that aerodynamics from the Venge, that kind of stiffness and raciness of the Tarmac comes through a little bit, but with that compliance from the Future Shock and the seat post in the rear. You know, I rode this bike 10 hours plus over the cobbled roads around northern France doing a feature on the Paris-Roubaix route, and at the end of that time, you know, having ridden the Sportive in the past and come back with bloodied and blistered hands, you know, I was in pretty good shape physically at the end of that day, and that was really telling for me. I think this is a direction that a lot of road bikes potentially could benefit from going in. It just feels like Specialized has done a really good job of balancing the kind of racy attributes that you want in a bike, the speed and the performance, but with that extra comfort, which everyone's going to benefit from at the end of the day. Not in terms of just comfort, but also control.